Yes, my friends, the mystery is over. After a few months waiting for some kind of confirmation, here is the final decision. Matthew Stafford will officially remain with the Rams, and the organization has secured the stay of their starting quarterback for even longer. The news broke quickly, and the fans reacted immediately, due to the huge uncertainty surrounding the future after last season. One thing I'm sure about, if everything goes right, and Stafford manages to play the entire season, we may never know if Ty Simpson was really a good choice. Well, I hope everything works out. Let's also talk about another soap opera called A.J. Brown. Man, this is making me a little uneasy. I'm about to tell you everything I've been hearing. But before we continue, make sure you already hit the like button. But only do that if you really want to see Matthew Stafford become a 3-time Super Bowl champion. Man, that would be incredible. And, if possible, comment right now. Go Rams! My heart bleeds blue and white. What makes this announcement so important isn't just the fact that Matthew Stafford is staying. It's the details behind the contract extension and what it signals about the organization's confidence in him moving forward. According to the reported information, Stafford agreed to a 1-year contract extension worth $55 million, with the deal potentially reaching $60 million through incentives. That alone is already huge, but the bigger news is that this commitment keeps him tied to the Rams through the 2027 season. For weeks and months, there were conversations about how much longer Stafford wanted to keep playing and whether the Rams were preparing for a transition soon. But this extension answers those questions in a major way. This isn't just a temporary fix. The Rams are making it very clear that they still believe Matthew Stafford gives them the best chance to remain competitive over the next several seasons. And from everything being said about this move, Sean McVay seems extremely pleased. One of the biggest points emphasized after the extension became official was that McVay never stopped viewing this team as Stafford's team. Even after the Rams decided to draft quarterback Ty Simpson, the organization continued publicly referring to Stafford as the team's leader. That matters because many fans were wondering whether selecting a quarterback early in the draft meant the Rams were already preparing to move on quickly. But now, with Stafford officially tied to the franchise through 2027, the message could not be clearer. The Rams are not in a hurry. And honestly, when you look at the reasoning presented around this extension, it starts to make perfect sense why the organization feels so comfortable making this deal. There was a strong reminder alongside the announcement that in every season where Stafford has been fully healthy and led the Rams throughout the year, the team has remained highly competitive. The confidence inside the organization remains extremely high regarding what he can still do as a quarterback. At the same time, this extension instantly changes the conversation surrounding Ty Simpson, and whether fans want to discuss it or not, it is now one of the main topics connected to this contract. The moment the Rams selected Simpson in the draft, there were already questions about the timing. How much longer would Stafford continue playing? When would Simpson realistically get his opportunity? How patient would the Rams be in developing him? Those questions became even more complicated the moment this extension became official. The discussion around Simpson now shifts entirely toward patience and long-term development. The point being made after the extension was simple. Stafford staying through 2027 delays the timeline for evaluating Ty Simpson as the future starter. If Stafford had retired sooner, the Rams would have had more years available to evaluate Simpson while he remained on his rookie contract. Instead, the organization now potentially has a smaller window to fully determine what he can become before major financial decisions eventually arrive later down the road. But despite that complication, there was also a very strong argument made that this situation could actually benefit Ty Simpson in a huge way. Instead of being forced into action too early, he now gets more time to develop behind a veteran quarterback who has played in the NFL for nearly 2 decades. That experience matters. Learning behind Stafford while also developing inside Sean McVay's system was described as one of the best environments a rookie quarterback could possibly enter. And that's where this whole situation becomes fascinating for Rams fans, because both sides of the argument are understandable. On one hand, fans naturally want to know what they have in a young quarterback. The earlier you evaluate him, the more flexibility you have moving forward. But on the other hand, throwing a young quarterback onto the field too early can completely change his development path. The Rams clearly believe patience is the better route here. Another interesting part of the conversation surrounding this extension was the emotional connection fans have developed with Stafford during his time in Los Angeles. There was a strong feeling expressed that Rams fans do not want to see him finish his career anywhere else. The belief is that Stafford should retire as a Ram, and that this extension helps move things in that direction, instead of creating some awkward future separation between player and organization. That emotional side of this announcement is very real, because Stafford has become deeply associated with the Rams in the minds of fans. And now, because of this extension, there's suddenly a lot more excitement building around the upcoming seasons. The reaction after the deal was finalized made it clear that confidence around the team immediately jumped. There's a belief that Stafford remaining in place keeps the Rams highly competitive, while also allowing Simpson more time to prepare properly for whenever his opportunity eventually arrives. What makes this story even more interesting is that the exact details of the incentives inside the contract were still unknown at the time the news first broke. It was confirmed that $5 million of the deal comes through incentives, but the specifics behind those bonus structures had not yet been fully revealed. That leaves another layer of intrigue surrounding the contract, because fans will eventually want to know exactly what benchmarks Stafford can hit to maximize the value of the extension. But regardless of the finer details, the biggest takeaway remains crystal clear tonight. Matthew Stafford is staying with the Los Angeles Rams, and the organization is fully committed to continuing this partnership for at least 2 more seasons. The Rams made their decision. Stafford made his decision. And now the entire direction of the franchise moving forward suddenly feels much more stable than it did before this announcement arrived. The big question now is whether Rams fans believe this is the perfect move for both the present and the future. Are you fully confident in extending Matthew Stafford through 2027? Or are you worried this could complicate the development timeline for Ty Simpson? Let me know exactly how you feel about this situation. Now, some news that's making me suspicious. A.J. Brown is once again being linked to the Los Angeles Rams, and this rumor is starting to feel more serious every time a new NFL insider talks about it. The latest update came from Mike Garafolo, who revealed that the Rams were extremely close to completing a trade for the Eagles' wide receiver. According to Garafolo, discussions between Los Angeles and Philadelphia got much further than many people realized, and there was even a moment where the deal looked like it could be finalized the next morning before negotiations suddenly cooled off late at night. He also made it clear that he would not be surprised if the Rams eventually re-enter those conversations with the Eagles. This is important because the A.J. Brown rumors have been circulating around the Rams for months now without disappearing. Earlier this year, Diana Rossini reported that trade talks involving A.J. Brown were not dead, and confirmed that the Rams had explored a possible deal before eventually shifting focus toward another move involving Trey McDuffie. Even after talks slowed down, Los Angeles reportedly continued monitoring Brown's situation closely. The interesting part is that the Rams have already been connected to several aggressive scenarios involving A.J. Brown. There were reports discussing the possibility of moving Davante Adams as part of a larger strategy to make the trade work. Another rumored idea involved the Rams potentially offering their 2026 first-round pick in exchange for the 3-time Pro Bowl receiver. None of those ideas became reality, but the fact they were discussed at all shows how interested the organization may have been. What keeps this story alive is that respected NFL reporters continue bringing it up repeatedly. Usually, rumors disappear quickly when there is nothing behind them. But with A.J. Brown and the Rams, the conversation keeps resurfacing from credible sources around the league. Right now, nothing is guaranteed, but it's very clear the Rams have explored the possibility before, and many around the NFL still believe the door is not fully closed on a potential blockbuster move. So now the big question goes directly to Rams fans. Would you actually make this move happen if you were running the front office? A.J. Brown is one of the biggest names being connected to Los Angeles right now, and the rumors just keep getting stronger every single week. But if the Eagles demanded a first-round pick or a major player in return, would you still do it? Or do you think the Rams should avoid risking too much for one receiver? I really want to hear what the Ramley thinks about this situation, because this debate is heating up everywhere right now. Drop your opinion in the comments and explain your perfect trade package if you want A.J. Brown in Los Angeles. And of course, if you enjoyed this update, make sure you subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and stay tuned, because all the latest Rams news and trade rumors are happening right here first. Let's go, Rams!